Now let's go to the college ranks, go to Kaiser, and talk with one of Kaiser's 2 HSS athletes of the month. The first is Kaiser's quarterback, Shea Spencer, who helped the Seahawks to a 56-7 demolishing of the Warner University Royals this past Saturday. Shea, second time the Seahawks take down the Royals in about 6 or 7 weeks. What was it like preparing for a team 2 times in about 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to beat a team twice, no matter what level you play at. But the preparation's always the same. Every day, whether it's Monday through Friday, we're going to prepare the same. Travel affects it a little bit, but we all get into the film room, we all put everything together, and then what works, and we stick with it, and we roll with it, and then we just got to execute from there.
And speaking of executing, the kick return unit executed perfectly against Warner. Jaden Meisinger took the opening kick, 97 yards for the game's opening touchdown, 13 seconds in. So the offense had to wait a little bit longer to come out onto the field. But how big of a confidence boost is it to come out onto the field? You haven't touched the ball yet, and you're up 7-0. What does that do just for the morale of the offense and for the team overall?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, when you're coming onto the field, of course, everybody gets butterflies. It's more anxious than nervous because you're ready to just get out there and play. But when you get a 97-yard return and it makes everybody go crazy on the sideline, the fans, it's that much easier to get on the field and just execute everything from there.
One of my favorite plays from Saturday's blowout win came in the second half when you guys had things well in hand. I believe it was Hunter Hargrave who came down with an interception on a deflected pass, and the sideline just went crazy. What does it say about this team that you get so excited, even more excited? I think that was the most excited I saw the sideline all night when a reserve and a young player makes a play like that, even when the score is so lopsided like it was when that play was made.
I mean, it's a brotherhood. Sosha talks about it all the time. It's a brotherhood with no negativity. Everybody's always positive, helping each other build up, whether it's developing or just making the next play. Like, even if you mess up, just play the next play, and your brothers will have your back and do your job, and your brothers will play behind you. And that's kind of what happened there. I mean, Hunter was in the right place at the right time with tip ball, and everybody just went berserk because it's an awesome play made by that guy. So, I mean, great to see as a team, especially from not only the young guys but new guys that have come in, whether it was transfers or anything like that. Just to get excited for that guy on that play is awesome.
Again, here with Kaiser quarterback Shea Spencer, one of the Kaiser Seahawks athletes of the month. Shea, Kaiser's quarterback picture has been much clearer this season compared to last, where you split time with 2 other signal callers. Do you feel like it's easier to play with more confidence and just prepare easier this season compared to last, just because of the clarity at the quarterback position?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot easier. I know for me it's a lot easier, and I think for the offensive play calling it's a lot easier as well, because we had Mosley last year and Jack last year as well, and that we all had a little bit different skill set, and it's a lot for not only the O-line to hear your voice inflection when you're calling mics or when you're just doing things like that, but it's also for the receivers as well. Because, I mean, the timing is different, the release is different of the ball, and, I mean, it's all a lot easier when you have really 1 or 2 guys, and Bryce Beasley now, who's getting most of the reps. And it's a lot easier to just develop that communication on the field and that just demeanor and just roll with the receivers, and it's a lot easier to do that.
Yeah, Shea, one thing you just mentioned is that for the line, it's much easier when they're hearing just one voice, and now you are that voice. I know Bryce Beasley's played a little bit when games have been in hand, but primarily you are the one voice. Has it been easier to just take control of the huddle and be that guy and feel like you're really in charge on the field versus, like you said last year, being one of 3 guys and it being a bit of a musical chair situation at the quarterback position?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like Coach Sosha puts me in a great position in order to lead the team and lead the offense, and I feel very comfortable in the system. It's my 3rd year in the system now, so I'm really familiar with everything, and it's definitely a lot easier to communicate with everyone and just know that I have their back just as much as they do mine.
One thing you also mentioned that I want to ask about is the receivers. And last year to this year, the top 3 guys in terms of receiving yards are all different faces. Is it difficult, throwing to 3 new guys and forging those relationships? Or is that something that, kind of the media maybe overdoes in terms of how hard it is to get on the same page with a new batch of pass catchers?
I mean, we've been working since, June, July. So, yes, it's different with those guys gone, but the time that we put in, it's just developed. Because I remember there was a period of time where the defensive coaches hadn't been here yet, and the defense was only running one defense because they haven't installed yet. So we were getting a lot of reps at the same plays, which was really good for us, I think, at the start of fall camp, because we were just getting those reps that we never had before because they're all new guys. So, yeah, it's definitely – it is a challenge, but I feel like as the year progressed, it's just clicked that much better because we know who those guys are in the system.
Again, we are here talking with one of the Kaiser Seahawks athletes of the month, Shea Spencer, who has thrown for nearly 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns, and has completed his passes at a rate of 64%. Shea, where do you feel like you've made the greatest strides in your performance from this season to last season?
I feel like I have matured not only mentally, but kind of more like being able to just take what's in front of me and just kind of roll with it. Don't need a big play every time. I feel like when we take a shot, it's time to take a shot, and when it's time to be smart and get the ball out of bounds or just scramble and make a play a little bit extra, that's kind of where I feel like I'm trying to get to the next level there and do that, which just makes a huge difference if you can scramble out of the pocket on a broken play and then just make something out of nothing. And that's kind of what I feel like I've progressed the most at.
Now, talking about this offense as a whole, the Seahawks averaging 47 points per game over the last 3 contests. But as the competition gets tougher and we get into the make or break weeks of the season and hopefully a deep playoff run for this Kaiser team, what do you feel like the offense needs to continue to improve upon if you guys want to get where you want to go this season?
I think it all is pre-snap. A lot of it is pre-snap, knowing where we're going, knowing our assignments, and just not shooting ourselves in the foot. I know we had even a drive last week, our first drive, we were close into the deep red zone, and then we got a holding penalty or something like that, and then we just backed up and had to kick a field goal. And, that was a huge deficit to us, even the beginning of the year when we played Valdosta and we played Lindenwood and those tougher teams like that. We just shot ourselves in the foot because we were down in the red zone ready to score, and then we just got backed up and we couldn't punch it in. So I feel like it's us. Like, we're playing us. Coach Sosha always says, like, we're playing us. And that what he means by that is no pre-snap penalties, nothing dumb that's going to hurt us, nothing that the other team has done, but it's just us against us. And that's where I think we need to take that next step and prepare for those tougher teams.
Like I mentioned, you're in the home stretch of the regular season, 3 games remaining. Are you guys as an offense more focused and spending more time adding things to the repertoire, new looks, more new formations, new motions, or is it more about shoring up the things that you've had installed for the past couple weeks, past couple months now?
So we have like a base set that we run every week, and we can always call whenever, whatever game. And then we have, obviously, we get a scouting report, and everybody plays defense a little bit different.
Sure.
So we create plays, and that's what Monday is for. The coaches meet all night, Monday night, and then we come in early and we install early on Tuesday morning. And that's kind of the uglier practice because we're trying to get those plays repped and get those newer plays installed, and then whatever sticks from there is what we roll with along with our base plays as well. So it does change week to week.
Wrapping things up with one of the Kaiser Seahawks athletes of the month, quarterback Shea Spencer. Shea, this weekend, you and the Seahawks will travel to Lakeland, Florida to take on Southeastern. And Kaiser will be looking to avenge the 20-17 loss to those guys last season. From an offensive standpoint, what's going to be the key to this game? What do you guys need to go in there and do to give the Seahawks and this group the best chance to win?
It's us. I mean, it's us against us. Like I said, every opponent's different. Every opponent's going to have something different, but we know what we can do, and we know that we can take on this team and we can beat this team. So it's really self-inflicted wounds, and can we overcome that? And I think that's a huge part of this game, and if we execute and do what we have to do, then we're going to take home the win.
Shea, before I let you go, walk me through your pregame routine. Are you a guy that's super hyped up or a guy that's more even keel, calm, cool, and collected? I know you have team activities and a schedule with the entire group, but when you've got that alone time, walk me through what you do to prepare before the games.
Well, it honestly depends on the game. So if we have a noon game, it's a little bit different. 5 o'clock game, a little bit different. 7 o'clock game, a little bit different. But I love music. My whole family is very musically involved, and I love listening to all different types of music. So it really depends on the day. Like if I feel like my energy's really high, then I kind of like take it down a little bit with the music, or like if I feel like kind of sluggish a little bit, then I take it up a notch with the music. So it kind of balances myself out. But I love to be at just kind of a level head. And I just love to be processing things, thinking things over. And it's nicer when we have a later game because I watch football. Because I love football. I've played it my entire life. And so when I watch it, it kind of just calms me down. It's like, wow, those guys are making plays. We can make the same plays. So that kind of just keeps me in a level headspace, and then just go from there.
So, Shea, what was the headspace before this past week at Warner? What was going through your headphones?
So in the earlier morning, I was kind of listening to country music like Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, stuff like that. And then I started watching a little bit of college football because there were some really good games on.
Yep.
And then right before pregame, I was listening to Slipknot, Disturbed, for 10 minutes. And then I just took it back down and listened to old school hip hop and just kind of mellowed out a little bit. And then it was game time, so it was ready to go.
So that's pregame. What about postgame? Anything you like to do? Anything you like to eat? You've expended a ton of calories and come down emotionally. Maybe time for a cheat meal. What does postgame look like for Shea Spencer?
My parents I'm from Vero Beach, and so my parents come down to the home games, and we usually go out to dinner, and my favorite place is Miller's Ale House, and I always get Mountain Melt, the Zinger Mountain Melt there, and it's so good every time. But yeah, I love to just eat and relax, especially after a game, and whether I'm beat up or not, it just makes my headspace so much better.
Yeah, I can definitely understand where you're coming from there. Shea, again, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on a fantastic start to the season. And here's to hoping that another Zinger's Mountain Melt is in your future after a win this Saturday against Southeastern.
Yes, sir.